Hi guys, it's Sheridan and welcome to the first video on my YouTube channel, Tractor Hack 94. So I thought the best way to introduce you to my channel was to give you a little bit of background information on not only me, but the horse that will be in my videos, who is called Fire. So I've got 10 questions for the both of us here, so hopefully this video won't be that long, but I hope you enjoy. So the first fact about me that I'm going to start off with is that I am 20 years old. I will be turning 21 in 3 weeks in December of 2015, which is a bit scary, but it's also really exciting. Fact number 2 is that I am Australian. I am from South Australia. I am actually from the same state as Hannah Hardy and Equine Emma 1996. And I only live about an hour away from them, so might see a video in the future with them. I'm not too sure, but that's a definite possibility. Fact number 3 is that I have been riding for about 2.5 years now. I only started riding once a week when I was 16. I have done trail rides and things like that beforehand, but I only really seriously started taking lessons when I was 16, and I was only at that place for about 6 months before I quit, due to reasons I'm not going to get into. I then took a 2.5 year hiatus because I couldn't find anywhere I could afford and all the other places were too far away. But when I found a new place, I stuck with it because I really liked how they operated, and I have been taking lessons there ever since. Fact number 4 is that I have a Certificate 1 in Racing Stable Hand, which means that I basically know the ins and outs of mucking out, handling a horse on the ground, lunging, handling race horses, handling stallions, everything to sort of encompass groundwork or basic handling skills with horses. It is specifically for the racing industry, but most of the skills can be transferred. Fifth thing is that I have a Certificate 2 in Animal Studies, which is basically the same thing as the Certificate 1 in Racing Stable Hand, but it's applied to general animals. So birds, rats and mice, cats and dogs. So it basically goes over handling again, animal husbandry, how to clean the cages and everything like that, and general first aid for the animals. So that actually qualified me to become a vet nurse assistant, which was really cool. Fact number 6 is that I again have another qualification, which is the Horse Safety Australia Instructors Qualification. I did a 4-day living clinic at Wirral Homestead Youth Centre in SA, which is down in Strathalbyn. Go check them out, they're a wonderful place and they do wonderful things, and it was the experience of my horsey life so far. It was absolutely brilliant. I enjoyed every second of it. I got to learn how to instruct groups of people up to 6. I got to learn how to give one-on-one lessons, and all of the people I got to know there just gave me tons of information that is invaluable to anyone wanting to be in the riding industry. Number 7 is that I got into horses from my mum. She owned a horse when she was my age. She owned a horse called November, who was a thoroughbred mare. She was a dark chocolate brown colour, and I believe from memory she owned November for about 3 years before she sadly had to give her up due to financial issues, like most horse owners this day and age, sadly. Number 8 is that I know dressage to novice level. I know reinback, turn on the forehand, turn on the haunches, leg yield, collected walk, medium walk, free walk, collected trot, medium trot, all of them types of movements. I also know some of my laterals, like leg yield, and in the last couple of lessons I had, which was sadly about 12 months ago now, due to financial issues I had to stop riding lessons. But the last couple of lessons I did have, I was starting to learn haunches in and shoulder in, as well as turn on the haunches. So that's the kind of level I'm up to, just to give you an overview. Number 9 is that I've also jumped, not very high, just baby jumps. I started learning to jump about 1.5 years into my riding, mainly because I was unfit for the first 1.5 years of lessons I was taking, due to the fact I have polycystic ovaries. I got really big and I am a lazy person, so that didn't really help. But in the last sort of 6 months of my riding lessons I was improving in fitness, thanks to a big shove up the bum by my instructor, which I can't thank her enough for. So she finally let me start jumping when my fitness did improve, and although I didn't get to do much of it, I did get up to the point where the biggest jump I did do was a fallen log that was about 1.5 foot in diameter. I can't really think. I think I did do one other jump as well, which was about 1 foot in diameter, but it was just more like a trot pole size. And that was a fallen log as well. So those are the only 2 jumps I've ever done, but that's good enough for me. I'm more of a dressage person. Number 10, the last fact about me before we move on to Fire, is that Fire is the first horse that I have ever trained. I have worked extensively with off-the-track thoroughbreds, and I've extensively handled all other sort of horses, including young horses, but he will be the first horse I have actually ridden and trained. My last job was actually working with a friend of mine, and I would lunge the horses before they were worked. They were all OTTVs that I was lunging, but my friend would actually do the riding and most of the actual retraining. So yeah, in terms of actually riding and training, Fire will be the first horse I have. Alrighty. And if you're wondering why I'm looking down, I have my iPad right in front of me with the questions on. Alrighty, let's get started on Fire's questions. So, number 1 is that Fire is a gelding. I know it may seem a bit trivial to say that, because, you know, mares and geldings are really the 2 main sexes apart from stallions, but just thought I better put a disclaimer in there right now that he's a gelding, not a stallion, because he does act like a stallion sometimes, especially when he's on the lunge. He likes to snort and blow out and pretend he's an Arab when he's not. Number 2 is that he is 10 years old. He's rising 11. Number 3 is that he's 15 hands. He's kind of the perfect height for me. I'm only 5'4", so with any horse that's sort of over 15 3 hands, I start to look like a bit of a pea on a mountain. And on any horse under 14 2 hands, I start to look too overly tall for that horse. So he's kind of like the perfect size. Number 4 is that he is a standard bred. He is actually an ex-pacer. I'm not sure how extensively he was raced. I think he was only trialled because his owner said that he had been in a sulky, but that he hadn't really actually done much work in it. Number 5 is that he is green. He is basically broken into walk, trot and canter. And that is about all. I tested him out on my first ride, which was actually today. And he knows rein back, but he doesn't really know anything else past walk, trot, canter and rein back. So he's basically a blank canvas for me, which is great for me because it can show off my skills better. But it's not so great in a way that I haven't actually really ridden a horse before that was that green. But he has got a really sweet disposition, so I should be alright. Number 6 is that before I started training him, he was actually used as a trail riding horse / endurance horse. So I just trained him for the person who owns him, and she has mainly done road riding with him, with her other horse. Her friends mainly ride him because he's so quiet. He's done, I think, 2 or 3 endurance rides, one down by the beach and a couple in the forest, so that's really cool. You might get to see some GoPro footage of that if I have enough money to get a GoPro. But yeah, that's basically all he's ever done his whole life. Number 7 is that, contrary to his name Fire, he actually loves water. Whenever the lady's other horse is getting bathed, he will actually come over and stand under the hose, which I find really funny and ironic. Number 8 is that he is a medium coloured bay. He turns like really dark, like almost brown in winter when he's got his winter woolies on, but in summer he's this gorgeous like medium bay. He's not a light bay, and he's definitely not like a really dark bay, but he's just a gorgeous, like really, you know, splotchy toned kind of dark bay. He's got some light patches, and then he's got some really dark patches like on his face and on his belly and flanks, which I find really attractive. I don't really like light bays, I'm sorry, but I don't. They're so generic, but he is a really nice colour, and you'll see that in the next video I post, which will be my first ride, so yeah. Number 9 is that he has only been to one low-key show before. It was an agricultural show. I think it was for Christmas or something, so it was really low-key because it was so hot during the time. He wasn't ridden in it, he was only doing the in-hand classes, but apparently he acted really well, so I look forward to seeing him out there. His owner doesn't really want to take him out to that many showing shows because she doesn't like to show prep, but I love to show prep, so hopefully we'll be able to figure something out. And last but not least, number 10 is that he has only been broken in for about 3 years. The lady that owns him was actually the one to break him in, and so yeah, I get all of the information that she knows from him being the one that broke him in, so that's a bonus to me because I get to know the ins and outs of what he has done and what he hasn't, which will benefit me when I go to actually try and train him. So that's all the facts I have about me and Fire for now at least, and I hope you enjoyed the video and getting to know a little bit more about what this channel is going to sort of be about. See ya!